Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never role-played before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are staying over at an abbey. Gartok reconnected with an old friend and blessed the crops. Quinny gave up on trying to convince Butthole and is planning to head to Sembia alone. And Butthole was masquerading as Brother Ted when he finally got to talk to a god about his godhood. Will the whole party be moving on to Sembia, or will someone be left behind? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons!
With Gartok laying outside, growing things, being praised by a random woman who walked by and seemed very excited with your work. Butthole, you shoveling shit, Brother Ted.
Thank you.
Shoveling shit with Bernard, having had a long conversation with Chantia. And Quinny, going to make preparations for your trip to Sembia in the morning. Night comes to the Abbey of the Golden Sheaf. Now, Butthole, Brother Ted, you just had a very...
Thank you. That's who I am.
Yep. You had a very interesting conversation with a god, which is new for you.
Yeah.
Particularly when you aren't thinking of proposing to her or becoming her or trying to murder them. So this is like a new space.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but it felt like she was keeping a healthy distance. But that farting eye contact thing, I was like, this could work.
Yeah. I mean, you got the ring back, so you're
strong
good.
queen energy.
So you've been left to ponder the metaphysical question of whether you are going to become a god or are pregnant. Quinny, you're not sure where Quinny is. You're kind of hoping he would come back and find you. Is there anything else you would do this evening?
Butthole's been doing a lot of shit thinking, which is different than fart thinking, but it's similar. The scents are very similar. And because originally, I mean, Brother Ted's a shit guy, and Butthole's a fart guy, and it's a really strong distance, but you could see how he could just sink into that role so easily.
Yeah.
The film is thin. Why?
No!
Fuck you, right.
Ew. He's just drifting back and forth between shit and farts and shits and handling stuff. And he keeps checking his shovel because now he's been taught that that's a thing and he wants to know if it becomes a bad shovel. But he's coming to some determinations about things. He had a good talk. He learned a lot. And he's also thinking about like having favorite people and having friends and then family and the nature of all of those things and the things that he's had to do and the nature of being a king. And then he's like, wait, I'm Brother Ted. And then he's like, no, I'm Butthole. And it's just a weird fight within himself. And then he kind of has a moment where those two personalities find harmony because they come to agreement on something. He's like, all right, I've got to write a letter, Goblin Jr.
Snarf!
That's right, buddy. Come on with me. And he goes and writes a letter. And he's got it all sorted out because he's had his big realizations, as though his player had time between this episode and the last episode to figure out his realizations. And he's like, I'm going to need you to go drop this letter with Quinny, wherever he is. I'm sure he's around.
Snarf.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I just had a moment where I was like, I'm looking down at the floor as an improviser. Tom is right there and is the dog, but I'm just in full like immersive butthole mode.
No,
like, you're a good
You were
dog.
surprised when Tom said snarf. You're like, oh yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. I just had a moment of like, I'm an idiot. He's right there.
No, you got to drill a hole in the table. I'll crawl under when I'm Goblin Jr. Just be like, Snarf.
We can cut that. I just had to share that
I
shocking
love
reality
that.
for
It was
myself.
very fire, very funny.
Okay, yeah, so take that to him, and we'll get this all sorted out. I got to go get my tummy bag, because I think it's got a bunch of adamantine in it that I didn't turn into the treasury yet, and I'm going to need to make some apologies now that Brother Ted's life oath to this temple may not be quite so lifelong. Admittedly, I'm not Brother Ted anymore, so that motherfucker's dead, so this is still kind of legal.
Snarf.
Yeah, that's about how legal it is. All right, if you could drop that letter, that'd be great, and then adamantine will make it more legal.
So Goblin Jr. takes off in search of Quinny. Was there anything else you needed to do in the meantime? You're going to get your tummy bag. All of that was brought by Gartok and Quinny. So the Hammerers would have it. The Hammerers are nearby.
Great. I think he'll claim that in the morning to clear stuff up. He'll sleep away tonight because he wants Quinny to have time with a letter to do a think.
Cool. So Quinny, I assume we're camping. Are you staying in the Abbey or are you staying out on the grounds?
As far as Quinny understands, he's welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome to stay.
Eat and have lodgings in the Abbey. Yeah, but I think he's already kind of getting ready to leave like early tomorrow.
Okay.
So, like sorting through stuff.
All right, so Goblin Jr. kind of walks up while you're packing things down by the water side. Just look, hey,
oh, hey, look who it is. What's your name, Bruno or Bruce or whatever? It's not either of those. Well, God, what? And like take the letter.
Ah, yeah, thanks. Paper tastes bad. Doesn't taste good.
Don't lick the. What is this?
Also, it's Bernard. Bernard was the name.
Bernard, great.
That's not my deal anymore. Goblin Jr. now.
Jesus Christ.
No, Goblin Jr.
So what does that mean then?
It means maybe you should read that letter.
All right.
I haven't read it. I don't know what it is. I can't read.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I guess I always just thought you could for some reason. Anyway.
Well, good on me. He just walks away feeling proud of himself.
All right, yeah, I'll open up this letter.
I will ask a flavor question.
Sure.
So I'll give you the option, Tyler.
Yeah.
Do you want to read the letter I have written as Quinny, or do you want to hear the voice of Butthole read you the letter?
I think it would be hearing the voice of Butthole because, like, it's coming from Goblin Jr. I know who gave me the letter. Like, before I even look at it, I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, what is this? Not what is this? Like, I don't know what I'm getting into, but like, what is this? Like, what is this gesture? Like, why aren't we just talking?
Dear Quinny, I met a god tonight, but don't tell anybody. She doesn't want us to tell anybody, but I'm telling you. Whatever. I did some thinking. I've been denying some things, and I've been treating other things as absolutes, and they aren't. You know how shit is complicated, you know? Like it's different than farts, but similar? Yeah. I am a king. I am also something that will either become or give birth to a god. These things are undeniable. But I'm also still a person. A random, mortal, human, floppy-bodied goo monster. Equally undeniable. I never wanted to be a king, Quinny. I never wanted to be a god. And I still did it out of spite or nobility or hope or rage or all of the above. I did it because of my family, directly and indirectly. They tried to make me the monster they wanted and instead made the hero, quote-unquote, that defeated them. And because I needed to stop them, everyone near me is now in constant mortal danger, like you. You're working with me as spy master to protect a country, but ultimately, the reason you aren't running, when I look back on our conversations, at least the ones I recollect, might be that staying is the only way to protect your family. That family is in danger because of your proximity to me. And family, ugh. Maybe you and I are family. I thought of us like that, but that isn't always good. Family isn't always good. Family has been poison to me, Quinny. It's the worst. My parents were dictators and torturers and killers, and even though I fought against them every step of the way, I still became a man who killed his brother, his father, and his mother. I did that. I did it willingly. I planned the murder of my family, and I did it or led the team that did it. So I'm telling you from experience, Quinny, family can drag you down and crush you. They can make you into something you never wanted to be. I am making you into something you don't want to be, and I can tell that because you keep pushing back and telling me pretty much exactly that all the time. I picked that up because I'm a great listener. Here's a list of things I know about you. You hate ethics. You don't want to design, understand, or follow laws. You don't want to have morals. You despise all religions, especially mine. You don't believe in gods. You don't believe I'm becoming a god. You don't have my core drives, and based on patterns I've spotted, you look down on my core beliefs. I'm also heartbroken to admit that I'm not sure you're my friend. Not really. I don't know any reasons you are outside of the transactional value of this relationship, so I'm going to set you free, Quinny. The Fortress of Forlorn Hope is yours. I may need to bring the people of Asgard there in a crisis, and I reserve that right. The people who live there can be yours to lead, or they can come to Asgard, and I will find them homes. Your family can live with you and stay safe. If anyone attacks the fortress, I will defend it with the full might of Asgard, no questions asked. I will find another spy master, and I will find an heir who isn't Ginny. I'm a father of a whole nation. I'm sure I can find 2 of my nation children who are smart and kind and good, and one of them will probably be sneaky. I will give you as much gold as can be spared from the treasury. I will give you a blanket pardon for all crimes committed in my person for my entire lifetime enforceable by the nation of Asgard. I will take weeks of my life to turn your new fortress into hallowed ground and keep even angels and demons from being able to go there and harm you. I will give you all of that, Quinny. After this mission in Sembia, when we get back, that's yours. Then you can lead whatever life you want to. No strings, no tricks. You can do whatever you please and owe me nothing. You'll be safe to be you on your own terms, and you won't have to worry about me or mine. Because being here but rolling your eyes and telling me I'm not cut out for a job that I'm killing myself to do is too hard. Especially with thousands of lives on the line. The little personal moments are more important than the speeches when it comes to keeping me going. I need friends to have my back. So, Quinny, I offer you a choice, because gods and people have favorites. You get everything you want and you're free to go. Or if I'm wrong and you stay, I'll know it's because you want to. And maybe you'll start being nicer and happier despite all of the challenges facing us. Because even you won't be able to pretend you don't want to be here anymore. And I'm in desperate need of kindness. Love, King Butthole Farch, and the Butthammer. P.S. I am definitely becoming a god because I'm not giving birth to a god who then gets no parents. That sucks. Fuck that.
My heart.
Just, I want to load a crumple it up. Gonna wind my arm back to throw it into the fucking river and kind of flatten it, and fold it, and put it in my pocket. But fucking so, I'm not talking to anyone, but just Quinny out loud, just like at the riverbank, just like, what the hell are you gonna do? That fucking asshole. And I'll turn around and stomp back up to the stupid Abbey.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go into the hall and look around for Brother Ted or whatever. Do I see him anywhere?
Well, Butthole, I guess you just...
Butthole just went to bed. He's in the letter. He's done.
So you walk in, you look around, and you bump into a woman who just says, "Excuse you."
Yeah, excuse me. And I'll just keep going.
Oh, hey, you're friends with Brother Ted, right?
Brother Ted? No.
Yeah, but like, you know what?
Somewhere Butthole's like, see, Shantia, see?
She's like, you know what? My friend warned me about people from Cornucopia. She said some of them real nice, real salt of the earth. Some of them run away to be thieving, sneaky little boys. And, I just kind of assumed that there was a little bit of good in all of you. But at this point, I don't think I want you to find Brother Ted. So...
Yeah, well, Cornucopia was a nice place to grow up, but it's called Quintown now, and it's deserted. It seems like you know a lot, but maybe you don't know everything, lady. Have you seen Brother Ted?
Not for you. You're a bad shovel. Then she leaves.
Bad shovel? What the fuck does that even... Go check the shit room. Is it a room?
Yeah. Apparently. I thought he was outside.
Why just open there? Like, why keep it in a room? Why inside, like, the doorway...
To be clear, how I was imagining it,
I just thought you had a closet
as an
full
idiot,
of shit.
is like, no, I imagine it was like, you go outside, and there's like a shed they put the manure in. It's not just in a giant stinky pile, because we didn't say, and then welcome to the farm town where the whole Abbey smells like shit.
Well, just like we go into the mess hall.
We were in the mess hall.
Over, people are just bringing wheelbarrows of shit.
Which would have worked. They're an agricultural place, but just imagine that whole Chantea scene being like a weird closet full of shit.
I imagine
just shoveling the shit to the side.
No, I imagine there was like a shed that was attached to the building where they kept the manure. Otherwise, the whole place would smell like manure. Yeah. I couldn't imagine like going to the kitchen shitting room.
I mean, that's nice to know at the table.
I want to paint a slightly different picture. I'm fine with Quinny's assumption. I just wanted to canonically change the world.
You open the shit room door expecting to find like a closet full of shit, and instead it just leads outside, and you can see the shack over there with a pile of shovels, some broken, some not.
Oh shit, shack. Okay. And then just crosses over to the shack and like we'll just open the door and look inside.
No one's there, but
it smells terrible.
Oh fuck.
And by terrible I mean the film is thin.
Oh.
Can you roll me an investigation?
Yeah, I can. The dice said I can roll one. 18.
18? Yeah. I mean, you've tracked people before. Butthole's not particularly subtle. You can see where Goblin Jr. left. You can see
shit footsteps just off.
Yeah, until a mat, and then there's some like swipey marks on it, and then like still kind of shitty footsteps beyond that.
Yeah, okay.
But into just one of the sort of a number of sleeping cottages just around for folks who need like a little siesta during the night. People sleep inside the Abbey as well, but yeah, you can pretty easily find which one Butthole stopped at.
All right. I will go to the door and try the handle. Is it locked or?
I don't imagine they have locks. Nah, it's fine.
Okay. And would you say that it's like group cabin kind of bunk, or is it your one little spot for one person?
I think we can say it's just there is room for more people. Butthole's the only one sleeping in this one, possibly because he was in the shit shack for so long.
Okay. Then I will open the door and come inside. Have you gone to sleep? And
he's out like a light. He had like a big emotional release. He feels like way better. He's made so many decisions. So for him, hit that bed and be like, nailed it, and unconscious.
Okay. I'll come in. I'll close the door. I'll light a lamp. Get the lights going up in here, and just kind of like go over to the bed and just like with the like folded up letters, kind of like on his forehead. She's like, hey, wake up.
Well, Chantier.
Hey.
Huh? Oh.
What is this?
It's a, did you read it?
I did read it. What is going on?
Well, when people have a deep thought and they need to get it all out before the other person would interrupt them, then they put it in a letter and they put the words on the page so the other person can read all those thoughts and then you talk about them afterwards.
I tried talking. Never mind. You're feeling better? I spoke to a certain Goblin Jr., so I'm assuming I'm talking to Butthole right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what of Brother Ted?
Oh, that was just a phase.
One of your classic phases.
Well, I mean, you told me that I had too much going on, so I decided to abandon it all and become somebody else. You felt like the last piece of permission that I needed for me to just be free of a terrifying weight of things that were crushing me down into nothing.
Oh, I'm glad we talked about that.
Well, I mean, you were super rude and told me to abandon everything and that I wasn't cut out for godhood.
I didn't tell you to do anything. I was making observations, and I was wondering if you had thought about any of that stuff and also considered that maybe you've taken on too much or just that I think you've taken on too much and I feel bad for you. But none of that happened.
Okay.
Because we yelled at each other or dove into the river.
Yep. That's why I wrote a letter, so that I could get my ideas across before the yelling started.
Yeah, well,
again.
I don't have a pen.
Hey, here you go. I got this
we're
scroll
talking,
and some ink.
asshole.
Okay. See, good. You can see from the letter, I was like, I really hope you'll come back and do more yelling at me and then throw some insults around.
Yeah,
That'll
well,
really
I'm
help
just
us
mad,
connect.
okay? I'm mad and frustrated because, where did this come from?
I talked to a goddess. Don't tell anybody. It's kind of her house. I don't know how it works, if she can hear me.
You talked to a goddess. And what goddess?
I'm not going to tell you that because I've said too much already. But
I already know.
No, I talked to somebody. You don't know who. It could have been somebody really cool.
So it wasn't somebody cool then?
No, she's great.
So it was somebody. So it's not even misleading to say it could have been somebody cool.
Okay, fair enough. All right, you got me. She's cool, but I talked to her.
She's cool.
She's cool.
She's cool.
They are she cool. Listen, you already know who it is based on things I've already slipped up on, so I'm trying to just stop where we're at.
Okay, so this is like her place, and she hangs out here. What is she? One of the?
Why are you
the folks?
repeating this? I thought we could figure it.
You wrote down evidence that you spoke to.
I will eat that letter if you keep
no,
waving
I'm
it
keeping
around.
this.
Yeah,
This is fucked up. What you wrote in here.
I don't think it's fucked up. I think it was really nice.
I think it's super drastic and dramatic.
Why? I give you a choice.
Yeah.
That's not dramatic.
That's
dramatic would me being my first draft of the letter, which was like, fuck you, I'm giving all this shit, leave. That was dramatic. And then I had more time to think and feel about my heart.
You always give me choices.
Yeah.
You give a lot of people choices.
Yeah.
You do. You do.
Yeah,
a lot of the times you talk to people, you give them ultimatums. A lot of people that we come up against, you're like, we'll let you live if you lead a different life or whatever. Or you give people the option to unionize and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You give people choices.
Yes. I used to, but continue.
Where are your choices?
Oh, I don't have choices, so I choose how I face the things that I'm
who's
dealing
decided that you don't have choices? You have, right?
with. Yeah. At this point.
Why are you deciding that
well,
for
I mean,
yourself?
somebody else decided that I'm like the aspect of a god, so I get to choose
Yeah,
whether.
but fuck them.
That's not how that works because it's in me and then they left this dimension. So that's just kind of like a given. So now I get to decide whether or not I want to try to be the first person who's not a dickbag to ascend to become a god by absorbing the energy, or I have a baby god that has like absorbed most of my experiences, but I'm worried with my level of trauma without effective parenting that god could be troubled.
Is this what came about from speaking to another god?
Yeah, this may not sound like a lot of answers to you, but it's a lot of answers.
You accuse me of like hating religion, and I'm finding like you're kind of just giving more evidence for why it all is kind of ridiculous.
So what you're saying is that you do hate religion. It just seems even more ridiculous to you now.
I never really felt so strongly about religion that I hated it. It's become more and more of an inconvenience for me.
Yeah, so it's...
confession and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is all that's going to... You don't have to do any of that. If you don't want to do it, you're free, buddy. You could just go. This is if you're going to be here and just be mad about everything where you're taking too much on. I'm like, what do you want me to be? I'll stop being the king. You want to be king?
Not particularly, but it's not, I don't think it's that simple. I think it's complicated. I think I was trying to talk to you about it, not to make a solution happen right then and there, but I don't know, people have been telling me talk to you about stuff. Other people are worried about you.
Why is everybody just telling us to talk to each other when they don't equip us in any way for this conversation? And then people get very mad, mainly you, because your default expression, you're
exasperate
so mad
me, butthole.
I understand.
But
okay.
You have shown me things that, I didn't know existed, or things about myself that I didn't know I could do. So I think it's important that we stick together.
Okay.
You still frustrate me and make me very angry, and I reserve the right to remain angry.
Okay.
But I'm not angry at you all the time. I would have left. I'm really good at bailing. I left my parents and I love them.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't hate you.
It felt like you did your leaving early, and then in a lot of cases, I've had to convince you that we should do the things that we're doing. Here, what's good other than I make you angry constantly, and you reserve the right to be constantly angry. What's the good? I don't know what the good is.
The good of
other
what?
Than the bad should continue.
The good of what?
What have I showed you that's so valuable? What's different? Why are you still here other than you want to always be angry?
I don't want to always be angry. I just am.
Okay.
What's the good of us, sticking together?
Yeah, why are you here?
Because I care about you.
Okay.
It makes me upset that you are in, I think, probably while being a king and doing something God-related. I'm more confused now than ever, but you're on track to something godly. You're one of the most powerful people in the region now. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you were in probably the worst shape I've ever seen you in.
Mm-hmm.
And that upsets me. And I wish it wasn't so. And I don't know how to fix it, but I figured, you've brought my soul out of hell and put it into a body you made from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I figured if anyone could figure it out, you could.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to help with that by talking to you about it, because it seems like you haven't been talking to anyone about it. I think we talked about you getting therapy, but you haven't. Have you been talking to Martha?
What? No, I never agreed to talk to Martha.
Okay, well, I think maybe that needs to happen.
To a certain someone, and he points at all the air around him. He's like, I sorted a lot out.
What? Is this a god thing again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not just a god, so I think you need to talk to a mortal as well.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I think you need to talk to a mortal as well.
I'm trying to talk to you.
I'm not cut out for this, obviously. You had to write me a letter, give me an ultimatum to stay or go. I think Martha...
It's not an ultimatum to stay or go. I didn't say you got to choose. An ultimatum is go or do exactly what I want.
You gave me a very detailed breakdown of what would happen if I made one of two choices.
And even in saying why you cared about me, you still had to mention that I was super powerful, and you had to mention that that I'd saved your soul, both of which are fully transactional in you care about me because I'm powerful, and you want to look after me because I saved your soul, not because you like me.
I do like you, you asshole.
Okay, that was confusing, but was nice. I
don't care that you're powerful. I care that you're persistent. Except until you bailed on me trying to talk to you for once. That sucked.
Valid. But you can sneak away and get space, and I can't do that.
Well, like you're incapable of, or there's rules that we're setting up that
no,
you're not allowed
my
to?
armor's very heavy, and I'm not sneaky at all, and you're very fast. Have you seen how fast you are?
I have seen how fast I am.
And
I
your
am very
tracking skills
fast.
are excellent.
Well,
and you can sneak
thank
up on almost anyone. So I don't know how I'm supposed to get away. Frankly, you've been inside rooms, and I didn't know you were there.
You could have said, go away. In fact, when you made it clear with that little banishment thing there, that I just wanted to stop and say, hey, you're naked, have a cloak, but that was okay. We were touchy there too. So, tried to talk, you took off into the jungle, and hey, I tried to come after you.
Yeah.
And I swam very well and made the decision on my own to go back and leave you.
Your old deception check.
I've never
Perception at advantage, Butthole.
Dirty 20.
Nat 20.
Ooh. Nat 20's got a super...
It does.
Yeah,
It
okay.
certainly does.
Okay. Does like your expression change at all?
Oh, yeah. He's like,
okay, then I'm immediately like, I'm like folding immediately like, all right, fine, I couldn't swim very well. And I got hit in the head with a boat and an oar twice. And fucking Fuhar had to rescue me from drowning.
Yeah, so my point about not getting space, I don't know why you thought when I abandoned my clothes and went into a boat to avoid a conversation, then dimension dooring onto that boat wasn't allowing me space. And then you followed me again. So we were at height of conflict. And sometimes you don't want to be in conflict with people that you care about, so you try to get away. I couldn't do that until a boat attacked you.
You could have done that by saying, I don't want to talk about this right now. You did it the other night in the tent when I said, hey, how are you? And you said, nope, and went to bed.
Yeah.
What did I do? Did I dimension door onto your bed and jump around like a fucking monkey, or did I let you have some sleep? Just tell me that you don't want to talk about it. And if we can maybe say another time that would work, let's do that. You taking off, diving into the river, being naked on a boat, running into the jungle, scared me.
Okay, I can understand that. You telling me that I'm not cut out for godhood directly attacked one of my core beliefs and something that I cannot change about myself that I have now had confirmed by a god, so I'm not just crazy, even if the theory was I'm crazy.
Okay, it wasn't that you were crazy. It was an observation that you're struggling. You don't have the criteria for separating those who go to paradise and those who go to hell nailed down yet?
No, I'm still figuring that out.
Okay. So if that's part of the process, you've talked to a god about it, I'm assuming?
No, I left that part out, but I've got it that locked down. Sometimes you got to like interpret with gods. They're not always tremendously literal.
Okay.
Plus, this god, I don't think they have I'm not sure about them having their own heaven. I think they may have gone in on the package deal.
Okay, so then I'm just going to try a hypothetical here then of let's say a chief justice, not our chief justice,
Okay.
but like another chief justice, said, came up to you, someone that they had known or whatever, you have nothing to do with the law. You're just a farmer, let's say.
Okay.
But the chief justice of your entire nation comes up to you and says, hey, do you know or have any ideas on how we should decide if people go to jail or go free?
Mm-hmm.
Would you maybe have a thought of that's unusual for a chief justice to not have figured out?
I mean, I think that about a chief justice, but are they the god of justice?
No,
Or are they just somebody doing a job?
We're just calling it a job because it's something that they were hired maybe a month ago for.
Yeah, see, this is where the metaphor, I think, fails for both of us because you are treating it like a job, and I completely agree with you on your general description of a job. I'm doing this. That's happening.
Fine. Asking me to figure it out with you? I'm going to have opinions on it.
Yeah, instead you didn't have opinions. You just told me that I should know or that I shouldn't be a god. I don't remember you having a lot of opinions on who got in or who got out.
You jumped out of the boat.
You were going to talk to me about therapy.
Yeah, I think you need it still.
That doesn't help me with the question I was asking.
Maybe it would if you talked to a therapist.
All right, so I don't want to talk about therapy right now.
All right.
I'm happy to talk with you about therapy in 3 weeks.
What time in 3 weeks?
Let's do a solid 9 a.m.
9 a.m. 3 weeks.
Yep.
What day is it today? Are we hit midnight?
They have their own names in Faerun for days. I don't know them offhand,
Right.
but yeah, it's
a Tuesday night.
It's a new night. Yeah.
It's a Tuesday night before.
It's corn day.
It's corn day.
It's corn day.
So it's past midnight from Tuesday into corn day.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's into corn day now.
Okay.
There's poop day to corn day.
Okay. So 3 weeks, 9 a.m., corn day morning.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Fine.
I'm totally ready for a corn day morning thing. I will note that according to the rules you have laid out, I do have the right to reschedule again as long as we start the conversation.
Keep running, pal.
Great, I'm good at it.
Turns out you are after all, huh?
Well, because you can't swim.
Or because you can't, won't confront certain things.
Oh, no, I confronted them. I talked to that god. I learned so much. You don't even know where I'm at. It's so good, buddy. I figured it all out. I'm going to be the king. Here's the thing. I still, based on this conversation, don't know if you want your job. And you didn't want it when I talked to you. You didn't want to have to stay in a car. You thought we should all run. It was a reasonable idea, except a lot of people would die. And then I had to point out that your family would be at risk. And then you wanted to do the job.
Yeah.
Then you didn't want to be spy master. And I pointed out that you're the only morally compromised person who seems to also have some level of decency. But you didn't want that job.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like being put in boxes.
I understand. What I'm saying is I put you in boxes for a really long time, so I can't tell if you want to be here anymore. And the tone is so aggressive with me, which also will not fly in public in any way, shape, or form. So that means in public, I get Quinny who's acting like someone who's not Quinny, and in private, I get Quinny who is constantly furious, and all I need is someone to give a solitary shit about me in a way I can feel.
Well, I'm sorry you can't feel it, but would you say that things are good for us right now?
No, that's why I wrote the letter.
I also lash out the way I do.
So you'll stop lashing out when it's good? I don't see a path
when I'm not as
forward
stressed,
here.
yeah.
Do you know what? I do see a path forwards, and I will take this path forwards. Gartok? She's going to start wandering around. Where's Gartok?
Going to get up out of bed.
Yep, I'm waking up Gartok. I don't give two shits.
Gartok, you've been laying in the field. Some nice lady just keeps walking by, giving you finger guns. You're feeling energized.
Fell asleep in the field.
It's perfect. You wake up, you've got like some growth over you. You're like a nice little blanket. There's a whole pile of seeds next to you. Just you're not sure where they came from. They're just there. It's a really high quality shovel. Like things are good. And then you hear the sounds of Brother Ted's voice on the wind.
Gartok?
No.
Well, that's Gartok. I know that sound any day.
Are you okay, Gartok?
Yeah, just full Undertaker sit up from the field, just like bent at the waist, fully up.
Oh, who's that? Oh, who's
hey.
there?
Hey, Gartok, it's King Butthole, and I'm here with
rubbing his eyes.
Quinny, Goblin Jr., sleeping in a field.
It's
Classic.
Butthole again. Hello.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. Okay, so quick question. Is Martha available for therapy sessions?
Sure, why not?
Okay, fabulous. I don't necessarily need her right now. It's late. But I want to book in for couples therapy for Quinny and I.
Oh, interesting. Yes, she could do that.
Okay, great. We will start tomorrow. But we also need to get to Sembia, so it's kind of a side thing.
I've got us penciled in for 9 a.m. 3 weeks from now.
9 a.m. 3 weeks from now, we're going to discuss whether I'm going to therapy myself. This is to work on our relationship.
Oh, fuck you. The stakes have never been higher.
Perfect. You wanted therapy, you get therapy. This is the deal.
I believe that Martha would point out that couples therapy is most effective when individuals are also working on themselves separately.
Snarf, snarf.
Separately. Do we both? Do you want to go to therapy too? We both do individual therapy.
You know what? It's a thing of like to screw you over in the sense of like I almost win the argument, but it comes out as like for you, yes.
All right, fine. We're both going to therapy. Fuck it.
And Goblin Jr. just under his breath, to those of you who can understand him and those of you who can't but can, it's like, fucking finally. Then he like Jim takes to Gartok.
Yeah. So anyways, Dr. Martha says that she'll start one couples therapy session and then we'll break just to figure out what the core issues are. And then we'll break into individual therapy for a bit and come back together.
How long is this going to take?
It's a continual process of growth.
But like
lifetime. It's usually a lifetime.
Honestly, though, in
individual
the short
therapy,
term,
lifetime. Couples therapy, I think we can get this sorted out. It's
until one
nice.
of us kills the other?
No.
That kind of lifetime.
Hey, Dr. Martha's taught me a lot. You have to determine what your goals are as a couple.
I think we'll be able to determining that's going to be part of our conversation with Dr. Martha. But do you know what I think we need right now, Gartok? Because we've been having a really heated conversation in the other room, and there's only one person I trust to try to like boost us up, make us feel purposeful again, make us feel like we're working forwards. Because right now, even Quinny, you can see, is just hearing a lot of work, and that means we both need to be inspired. Could you just give us like a good little speech just to really brighten us up the day? You know, that's what we need.
Oh, sure. Let's see. What have I got to work with?
But I'll sit down on the field to keep everybody at eye level.
All right. How would you like to feel after this?
Asleep.
I would like to feel inspired about our personal journey together. Right now, I think...
So if you could do a sleepy, inspirational one, that'd be, I think, perfect.
Yeah, inspired first,
Okay.
and then we'll go to sleep after. Yeah.
I will change it to a monotone voice.
Okay.
Oh.
Quinny and Butthole. You both have been on a long journey. Together and separately at various times. You came together through happenstance, perhaps. But nonetheless, you've chosen to remain together with common goals. But you also have your own goals. And it's good to have goals. So when you have goals together, you're stronger. Having goals gives you something to work towards. And Dr. Martha's going to work towards those together with you.
Gartok.
And at the end, you're going to be so happy.
Are you falling asleep?
We'll be so happy together. So, you're going to be so inspired. So inspiring.
What? Quinny will like go back to the cabin the Butthole was in, like grab a blanket and like just like 3 blankets, I guess.
Sure.
Throw them over each of them in the fucking dirt. And he'll go to sleep in a bed inside the fucking Abbey.
Amazing. And so with that, with ASM Gartok successful in his efforts, you all fall asleep. The sun rises the next morning. The bell rings. Brother Ted doesn't report for duty, but that's okay. The sister is looking around, finds all of you in the field. So Butthole, you wake up and she says, Brother Ted, you're not at your post. This is a unseasonably long siesta.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Just a second. I'm going to be right back. This will all make sense in a moment. And he leaves and gets fully decked up in his plate mail and his whole king outfit and comes back with his tummy bag. And he's like, so sorry about all this. I'm actually King Butthole Farch, ruler of Asgard, formerly known as Akar.
What?
Don't worry. We're good. It's been a lot of changes under there. But I was on a pilgrimage. I needed to find myself. And I came here and I had a vision. And it showed me the things that I should be doing moving forwards. Like, abstractly, going to couples therapy with my best friend.
Yeah, that's good thinking, yeah.
And it means I've got to go back to stopping a horde of the undead from doing their various processes across Sembia.
So they're going to therapy across Sambia?
I hope it's therapy. That'd be really cool, and then we don't have to do more, but I feel like there may be something nefarious about their various processes.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to give you some adamantine as thanks for your learning. So I've got a shitload of pieces of adamantine, so I'm just going to give I think about 5,000 coins worth.
Yep.
We'll give her like a solid 500 coins worth of adamantine. Like you can make some hella good scythes out of that.
Oh, yeah. Shovels for days. Oh, this is, my lord, this is incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You really helped me find myself, find who I might one day give birth to or absorb and ascend, and finally accept therapy into my life. Maybe farming at its core really is a little bit therapeutic.
Oh, yeah, very much so. I fought in some terrible wars, and I got to tell you, this is much better.
That does make a lot of sense. Oh, my God. Quinny, here's the big question.
I'm not here. You woke up in a fucking field.
Oh, I got dressed, and then I
just dragged
Quinny
over.
And then I'm like, okay, we're done. And I just walk away from the conversation.
She goes, oh, hang on. You swore an oath to Chantia, and I appreciate this great gift and that you're a king and you have responsibilities, but you're not the first person to lay down your crown and your burden in order to pick up farming. And we're a community here. And it seems as though you're abandoning. I don't know how Chantea would feel about that.
Oh, she would be shockingly cool with it. It was part of my vision.
Wait, you spoke to Chantea?
Listen, no one can really talk to a god. You just absorb what you're given and you have to interpret.
Okay. I feel like my understanding was that oaths are like a really big. I mean, that goblin was telling me that they know what's up. Like oaths are a big deal. You swore that you would stay here and help us, not just with money, but with the strength of your arm and your heart.
Yeah. I mean, and Brother Ted really swore that. But
Yeah.
I'm back to being Butthole now, and Brother Ted is a separate identity. He was actually set up as a corporation. And I don't know if you know, but corporations are people, and they pay out dividends. He just gives another 500 gold worth of adamantine.
She's like, shit, the corporate loophole. You're not the first person to stymie us in this way. And she kind of like is crossing her arms. And, a woman just kind of walks by, pats her on the shoulder. And Chantea just turns to her and says, Don't worry, sister. We'll make do somehow. I mean, this will buy a lot of good. And besides, having a king as a friend is probably not the worst. And she's like, shut the fuck. Who do you think you are coming up to me, telling me this? I'm doing a thing. You're probably right, but we will have words about this. And Chantea's like, oh, of course, ma'am. I understand. Really overstepping. And she like winks at you, Butthole.
Give her a wink back. She seems cool.
And then she just says, okay, you really put me in my place. And as she walks away, she just pats you on the shoulder, Gartok, and says, there's some really good growing there.
Oh, me?
And she's already gone. Walking off like the end of Field of Dreams.
Wait, the plants or my ability to inspire? I'll never know.
She's here on the wind. Both.
Yeah, no, she's a big fan of yours. I heard her talk about you earlier. You do great work, Gartok. But
really? That's amazing, because honestly, it's like I went into a trance. I couldn't even remember what I was saying at the end of that inspirational speech I gave you both.
Yeah, there was a word with a goals. I think you said goals a lot, and that lulled me right out. So, like, you bank that. When you got to do the sleepy speech, I want to hear more about goals, but like once a sentence.
And Sister Harkness is like, all right, I think you're good. Seemed like you were going somewhere, Your Highness. So thank you. Well, I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Also,
Congratulations on your vision.
We'll cut you a huge deal on any farming implements or anything you need from our forge. So, like, that
would be very helpful. Do you need food in Asgard?
Hell yes, we do.
All right. Well, that seems like a deal to me. She spits in her hand, holds it out to you.
Oh, I'll shake that hand and I'll be like, all right, let's make a deposit on the food, and I'm just gonna drop the other 4,000 worth of adamantine into this lady. We need food really bad there. People are not doing great. So, like,
all right. Well,
I trust you not to screw us on this deal.
Do I look like someone who fucks around on a spit handshake deal?
No, and that's so relieving.
All right, she grabs your hand.
Yeah.
And shakes Gartok's hand, shakes Goblin Jr.'s paw, and she says, all right, back to work, you slackers. We got a nation to help. And everyone's like, yay, helping people. She's like, yeah. And with a little smile on her face, she calls for people to drag all this fucking heavy metal out of here. But Butthole, you're on your way to speak to Quinny.
Butthole's just watching this happen. He's like, this is the energy we got to bring home. This is the energy we got to bring home. But that's not the burning question in my mind. And Butthole immediately starts running. He's running across the fields. He's jangling like a motherfucker because he's back in plate mail. He has disadvantage on stealth. He's just moving. This giant guy in his huge coat and this desert shit he doesn't need right now because he's in fucking cool corn land. It's corn day. It's corn day.
It's still corn day.
And he kicks open the door to the cottage that Quinny's in. He goes, happy corn day, same friend.
Hi. We shaking a leg or?
I figured out the big question that I need your help answering during this trip.
Oh, what?
Quinny.
Yeah.
The challenge to me being a god is I don't know what I'm the god of.
I thought it was farting. I thought you took over.
That was Moonhammer. So farting's going to be a part of it. Remember? Strength, joy, flatulence.
So you're all those?
She was all of those.
So what? More? 2 more?
Maybe. Based on what you just said and me asking you this question? Hell yes, 2 more. And, snap prayer. And a 3rd one. I'm 6 things.
Okay. Great. What are they?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
That's us, buddy. And nobody
Us?
knows me better than you, which means you have to
Why?
help me build a church that's welcoming of all people, including people who hate churches. So congratulations, Deacon. You and I got to figure out what kind of God I am. I got 3 things I'm God of. We need to know.
All right. Well, you want people in your church who hate churches.
I mean, that's just standard church.
Okay. I was just going to say get a liquor license. You're good. You'll bring in a load of people.
Okay. I didn't. Do you know these already? I thought we were gonna have to figure this out. All right, tell me the other 2.
Oh,
If you
these
think that's
these
it.
just seem like easy fixes, but that's not the
I'm the god of free booze.
Oh, well, are you the god of liquor licenses? I don't know. Like, what kind of butthole spin do you want to put on?
Goblin
Okay.
Jr. is sitting on the boat just going, Snarf!
No. We're gonna go.
I hear you.
We're gonna figure this out while we go. I'm very, very excited. Oh, this gives us like a whole future thing, and you're gonna learn so much about godhood along the way. This is the best. Okay, get yourself ready. We're gonna go on an adventure, figure out God stuff, defeat the undead, go to couples therapy. It's all perfect. You ready?
Yeah. I'll be right behind you.
I love you, Quinny. He points at you with one hand. Raises his eyebrows.
I love you too, butthole.
Fuck yes! And he's back, just fucking running and jangling into the distance.
Quinny folds up a letter that he had written. He's like, no, he's too excited. I'm like, I'll hang on to that for now.
And with that, you pile into the boats and finally make your way to Sembia.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abbey McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy, Funky Head, Nomad, the Wise Paladin of the Badlands, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gator Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.